Call in, guys. Talk to me nice.
Welcome back to Sports Tea. Welcome back to Sports Tea.
Talk to me nice. Nice. Call in, guys. Talk to me nice. Call in, guys. Talk to me nice. Talk to me nice.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Sports Tea. Happy Friday. I hope that everyone's having a wonderful evening. Oh my gosh, guys. What a week it's been. The NBA draft happened. I mean, so many different little trades around the NBA have been happening. It's been a really just like interesting time, to say the least, right? I think it's been quite a time actually in the NBA where, we're just seeing like this movement on certain teams. Boston traded Drew Holiday. They got rid of Porzingis. We saw movement. Obviously, Kevin Durant. That was the biggest trade. It happened on Game 7 of the NBA Finals. It felt very LeBron-ish, and I don't think that Kevin Durant wanted, that kind of attention really, but it happened that way. Who knows? But I just want to welcome everybody who's here. Thank you guys for joining. I see Lynetta 402. Salute to you. Ace of Rage, Viacon. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that one. But I see you, Danny Season. Thank you guys for joining. As you guys load into the room, do me a favor and like the video, share it out on your social media, share it out with your friends, your family. Let everybody know about Sports Tea so that we can grow the community and blow it up to be really big. But yeah, welcome on in. Happy Friday again. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. But yeah, guys, welcome in. Talk to me nice. Welcome back to Sports Tea. We've had some really, really great like engagement in the chat lately. It's just been like a really, really fun time, to be part of the community. And there's been lots of really great content, lots of LeBron stories, right? He just keeps us in here laughing, joking. He brings us together. I mean, it's funny because I say that LeBron is one of the most polarizing athletes, but he gives us some entertaining content. I have to say, he really does. And, when he's gone, which I don't think he'll ever be really gone. Like, I don't think LeBron James is going to just disappear. I think that he'll retire and then he'll just keep, he's going to be one of those sort of pests that never go away. He's going to be somebody that's rewriting history. I think that he's going to completely change things that he said from 20 years ago and make completely different narratives and stories. So, I think that he'll have revisionist history and selective amnesia. But anyway, LeBron James, right now, he's got the Mind the Game podcast to wreak havoc on all of us, right? And he's done a really good job of that so far. I would say that he's given us so much to chew on and to debate on. Last week, a big discussion was ring culture. And, he's done it again. He has been commenting on the NBA draft. He sat down with Steve Nash, obviously, who Steve Nash is just, it seems like he's got no shame. And I don't know what his angle is. I don't know what Steve Nash is really looking for. Do we think he wants to be a head coach again, guys? Like, what do we think that he's like? What's his angle here? Feel free to throw some things out there. Like, why is Steve Nash selling out this much? Why is he kissing the ring so much to LeBron James? I just don't know why he's bowing down to him, spreading these false narratives and lies. But he surely has. And so they sit down together on this latest episode of Mind the Game. And he's talking about Cooper Flagg. And, LeBron says some really nice things about Cooper Flagg. He talks about his game, saying, he discusses how he's going to get better. And of course, he can never miss a chance to make something about himself and to sort of try to compare, how he has had it just so much harder than everybody else. He's the most exalted NBA player that's ever lived because he was the chosen one. He just came into the league with all of this pressure, all of this weight on his shoulders, on his back, where he couldn't take it, but he was able to. You know, anybody else would have folded, but LeBron, he just stepped right into being the face of the league, and he had no trouble with that, right? He just taught himself how to win, and he had to show himself the way. He doesn't mention any of the Hall of Fame players that he played with that actually taught him how to win, or, you know, really, really just mentored him throughout. He mentions Pat Riley briefly, but to me, it's not enough. And then secondly, I mean, he even goes back on it after he mentions Pat Riley and says, you know, I taught myself how, you know, I knew already at 18 years old. He can't even fully give Pat Riley credit for teaching him that, hey, the main thing is the main thing. But anyway, I want to get into this soundbite with LeBron and Steve Nash, where they sit down, they talk about the NBA draft. Specifically, they get into Cooper Flagg and, you know, how special he's going to be when he enters the NBA. So I want you guys to hear it, and then we're going to react together. It's a good one. So let's listen up.
Time, man. It takes time and the expectation to wanting to put a 18-year-old, 19 kid in a position where he's like, he needs to be great right away. I think it's unfair, but it's also something that I think we can, you know, as kids like myself and Cooper can use as like motivation as well. And I personally think that he wants to be great. You know, he had a hell of a year at Duke. A guy that can do so many different things on the floor, can play with the ball, can play without the ball. You know, his jump shot is going to continue to get better, super athletic, quick second jump. And also he has the benefit, unlike myself, he gets to join a team that's established with Hall of Fame guys, Klay Thompson, Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, right off the bat, Hall of Fame coach, Jason Kidd. You know, these guys are like, they can give him the whole blueprint while he continues to learn what his blueprint will be. And I think that's going to be an incredible thing for him to have that type of presence, that type of leadership, that type of, you know, just basketball IQ and knowledge around him every single day from those pieces. So I think he's going to be amazing.
And an environment, right? That's not like we're the worst team in the league.
Right.
We're going to try to develop
bad habits. You know, that happens too, man. You get guys that you never know what their trajectory should have been based on if they were in a toxic environment or a losing environment or an environment that had great habits. You know, like we mentioned Kawhi, like, you know, we don't know if Kawhi would have ended up somewhere without those type of built-in habits in San Antonio. Would he have been, you know, he would have probably been great, obviously, but he had time to hone those skills, be around Timmy, be around Manu, be around Tony, be around Pop, to where he was able to get better on his own time and not the league's time.
Right. So unique. And we forget, right? But the player, obviously now he's such a world-class player, but he's playing for championships right away.
Yeah,
like that's a totally different, that's a very unique position for a rookie. Did you play with Cooper in the summer? Were you in those practices?
Yeah. He was on the development team, on the select team, we call him. And he played extremely well, man. I've been watching Cooper for a few years. My son played AAU basketball on the Nike EYBL circuit, Bronny. So, you know, we would be in tournaments either in like, you know, Peach Jam in Georgia or Kansas City or Dallas or Indianapolis. And, you know, Cooper, unlike a lot of kids, he played for his team out of Maine. A lot of these kids are going to like recruited, whatever. Him and his brother and a bunch of those guys they grew up with played on the, I think they were called, I forgot, it was Maine Select or something like that. But and he made them competitive, like versus teams that were stacking teams. You know, him and his brother. You know, I thought that was just super cool because that was how I remember that's how I was. You know, I played for the Northeast Ohio Shooting Stars. Like me and my guys grew up playing together and having to play all the best teams in the country. I just thought that was super cool. But you know. He's a big time talent.
Says something about his mentality. What did you notice practicing with him? What did you notice about his mentality?
Oh, he just made winning. He's a winner. It just seemed like he make winning plays. He just make winning plays. And even at his first year at Duke, you know, just made winning plays. You know, and obviously, you know, the fact that he was the freshman and I think he's player of the year this year as well, ACC player of the year. You know, and I just thought he just played the game the right way. How you will hope that, you know, a player that of his caliber just comes to work every day just trying to get better. And I just think he's getting better and better.
That's a great indicator, right, of a success, making willing to make small plays that mean a lot to winning. So I would say like the one thing for such a prodigious talent that we want to wait and see what happens with is how good is he with the ball, right? Like he obviously is capable with the ball. We've seen him do a lot of things with the ball, but is he that primary guy? Will he be? But I love to hear that, like, well, I think he's going to get there. Love to hear that his mentality is I'm happy to do whatever the team needs.
And he has, and a lot of people, he has the ability to do it at this, you know, especially at this point. You know, when you have, you know, the guys that they have, he doesn't have to put too much more pressure on himself. You know, he can put the pressure on himself to get better every single day. But as far as, you know, his rookie year or his second year, he doesn't have to put the pressure of making every play. He has guys out there that can help him with that. So, you know, I think he could possibly be in a position where he could build into who he's going to be at his pace and not with the league expect the number one player picked.
Where's my 25 a night?
Right, exactly. What you should be doing is your number one player. You're number one player out of high school, but like, maybe that's not my timeline. And I hope he doesn't get pressured by what the narrative timeline is because you're the number one player picked.
So what do you think it looks like? I mean, that's a huge thing for him to go to a winning team where the pressure's not on him to score 25 a night from the start.
Awesome.
Great for his development. But there must be, like, you've been in this position, there must be a little bit of a sense of relief on draft night just to get it behind you.
Yeah, for sure.
You feel that way?
Sure.
And then what does it look like? Like, what was your mentality after the draft? Because now it's like you've built up to this thing, like you said, in the driveway, in bed at night. Now you're drafted, you are going to an NBA team, you're moving to a city. What was your mindset like? I mean, obviously you knew you were going to Cleveland early. He knows he's going to Dallas. What was your mindset like of, like, this is what this summer looks like?
Yeah, it was,
you're young guys.
Yeah, super young. Yep. And, I have been building up for the NBA for a couple of years, my junior and senior year of high school, I have been, I wouldn't say building up to, like, to play against those guys, but I kind of knew that, after my junior year that I had an opportunity to go straight out of high school. So I was kind of building up, my reps, building up my strength, building up my stamina, things of that nature. And then right after the draft, I was okay, just get to work. I knew summer league was coming up, I didn't get an opportunity to be a part of Vegas many years ago.
Where was it?
We was in Boston to start, and then Orlando. Yeah, that was
more regional.
Yeah.
There's just so many. Where do we even start? Where do we pick this apart? I guess we just start from the beginning, right? So he begins by pretty much saying that, it's a lot of pressure for a kid who's entering the NBA, 18, 19 years old. He immediately says, Cooper Flagg, like myself. So he instantly wants to make this comparison of Cooper Flagg to himself, which I thought was interesting because obviously Cooper Flagg, he went to Duke. He got some, I would say college preps you for the NBA. It really gives you a lot more fundamentals. It also teaches you how to be a professional. It gets you ready for the media and hard, tough questions that you're going to be asked. And I think that Cooper Flagg, I mean, it's night and day. There's, to me, nothing like LeBron James to Cooper Flagg. But, that's just how I see it. There's nothing, in my opinion, that, I mean, maybe the hype, but again, no one's calling Cooper Flagg the chosen one. He's not getting that tattooed on his back. Is there a lot of hype surrounding Cooper Flagg? For sure, but I don't know that he's overrated. I haven't heard anybody calling Cooper Flagg the GOAT or that he's better than Michael Jordan. I haven't heard any kind of comparison like that, and that's what people were saying about LeBron James, obviously, when he was coming out of high school and into the league, that he was going to be the next, that he was going to surpass Jordan. And I mean, we all know how that went. It didn't go that way, but to me, he starts out with that comparison. So we already know at the start of the conversation where this is headed, that he's going to make it all about himself, that this is going to be about, what Cooper Flagg is going to have the luxury of getting, which he says, he's got the luxury of playing with other scorers, a Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson, Anthony Davis. These people are champions. And he was drafted there. I think that it is a luxury, but I don't know that it needs to be worded that way. Why does it have to be worded as a luxury and a privilege, as if he cherry-picked himself to go to the Mavericks? He's the number one pick, and they situated their team so that they could get him. I mean, it's like LeBron James has to hate on the fact that the Mavericks were in a position to get Cooper Flagg one. And then he's hating on the fact that, Cooper Flagg is coming into a better situation, and not everybody has the same situation. I mean, Kobe Bryant came into, being able to play with Shaq. And of course, LeBron James and Clutch Sports, they try to create these narratives where they're holding that against you. Okay, you're drafted to this team. Okay, you're traded to this team, and you've got experience around you. So, okay, that's an advantage for sure. But I mean, LeBron James had plenty of advantages by not having experienced players on his team. He was able to get playing time. He was able to play for, every minute of every game for his entire career. He was able to be the main guy on his team, not have to worry about really acclimating. instantly LeBron James was given the keys to a franchise. He said it himself, right? He said it in the Starting Five documentary. He said it multiple times, like that he's had a franchise on his back, but at the same time, that comes with a lot of perks and privileges. So you're able to shoot you're able to shoot 30 times, 40 times a game if you want. You're able to jack up all these shots, which you shot poorly. Obviously, like this has carried you your whole career, but initially in that rookie year, that second year, LeBron was an awful shooter from the outside. I think he shot like in the 20s for, his three from behind the arc. So it's just like you're able to make those kinds of mistakes as a rookie because you don't have a Kobe Bryant on your team that you're trying to play alongside or take minutes away from. You're not playing with any superstars. So you had some advantages being able to just come to the Cavs, play your game. There really was no expectation for you. So yeah, like you were expected to be the guy on the Cavs, but they weren't expected to win. Nobody thought that they were going to win a title. So everything that LeBron James did during that tenure with the Cavaliers, I think it was extra. When he got to the playoffs and, he was making these runs, of course there was going to be expectation and pressure. And it was pressure that he put on himself, pressure from being the chosen one. You tattooed that on your back. You're wearing 23. That's the pressure and the narrative that you created for yourself. So, he compares Cooper Flagg to himself, saying, he's not going to have the pressure of having to score and make every play. He's not going to have all this pressure. And again, I mean, he's saying he's not going to have these narratives put on him as if he didn't play a role in these narratives. You wanted those narratives. You wanted the smoke. You wanted the pressure. And then, later on during this episode, he goes on to talk about that he loved, the media attention. He loved it all. Yet he quickly pivots to saying, I wanted to, make sure I kept the main thing. But LeBron James has always been this sort of drama queen, right? He's always been this, this force, this force field of drama, this force field of, media narrative, and a lot of sort of division in NBA and in basketball in particular. And, when he talks about, oh, we never do this in any other sport. Yeah, that's because of you. These things didn't start until really you. And so, the way that players react and behave to the same things that have always been going on in the league today, it's absolutely, it's privileged. They have the luxury of making these complaints, whereas players in the past didn't. So LeBron James wants to talk about Cooper Flagg's privilege, his luxuries that he's going to have on the Mavericks that he didn't have. He sounds like that old head that he likes to complain about, that's hating, and I'm just wondering, like, why is he trying to discredit Cooper Flagg before he even comes into the NBA, before he even accomplishes anything? I mean, what is that? He hasn't even stepped foot into the NBA yet. And he's already saying that Cooper Flagg's got it easier than he does. Why? Why does he have to create these narratives? He's now putting a narrative on Cooper Flagg. What if Cooper Flagg comes in, he shoots poorly, he's not adjusting well? LeBron James put a narrative on him and pressure on him that now he's got to perform because he's got these champions around him. What if Kyrie Irving is injured? What if Anthony Davis is injured? Okay, he's got Klay Thompson on the floor with him, but what if then Cooper Flagg has all this pressure that he's got to perform and he's got to lift the team in Kyrie Irving's absence and Anthony Davis's absence? What if he has his own sort of pressure and narratives? And who is LeBron James to speak on what it's going to be like for him and what his experience is going to be like? I just think it's really wrong. I think it's irresponsible of LeBron. I think that he should allow for Cooper Flagg to come in the league, play his game, and, and let the media, let the fans speak for themselves. And I think that was a message that to me, that was a missed opportunity that he had to deliver a message like that. I think that it was an opportunity for him to treat Cooper Flagg the same way that he wanted people to treat his own son. And he compares Bronny to Cooper Flagg, and he talks about how he's seen Cooper Flagg at different tournaments with Bronny, And it's just absolutely ridiculous that he would mention Bronny and Cooper Flagg in the same sentence. One guy earned his way. One guy, is being recognized for playing really great basketball. And I don't even think that the decision to draft Cooper Flagg was as hyped up and made a spectacle as Bronny James going to the Lakers was. But he has the nerve to actually, mention Bronny and mention Cooper Flagg. Again, a guy who doesn't deserve to be there, in Bronny James, Carlton Banks, a complete, like, he should just be, he's the he's the Fresh Prince, but Bronny, he should just be putting on a Halloween costume every day. That's what he's doing every time that he's on the floor playing alongside LeBron James. It's just a big joke. The Lakers can't possibly be a serious franchise. And for LeBron James to constantly tie things back to the spectacle that he makes of himself, of his son, of the Lakers, of the NBA, of this league every single day, it's awful to hear, because Cooper Flagg, he's worked really hard. I think that he earned his right to be, the number one pick, whether you agree that he is number one or not. I think that that's totally fine if people disagree that he's number one. But I mean, why would we be talking about Bronny and Cooper Flagg? One is a basketball player and one is a gamer. So LeBron lost me with that. But it's just so funny because he talks about the luxuries and privilege that, Cooper Flagg is going to have. But what about all of the luxuries that LeBron James has had? Being able to pick his team, being able to collude with the NBA to ensure that he stays home in Cleveland, coming out of high school. And, he says that, the NBA rigged that. What about all the luxuries that he's had, being able to pick his team, the decision, I'm going to take my talents to Miami and I'm going to pick the players that I want to play with. And, I'm going to finally learn how to win from Dwayne Wade. He had the luxury of learning from and having a mentor in Dwayne Wade, who is a Hall of Famer and an already made champion. So he had some luxuries too. And even though he lost his first, 9-10 years in Cleveland, okay. I mean, you then went on to be mentored and coddled by Dwayne Wade, who did everything to reach back and lift you up. And now you have a moment to just, give your opinion on Cooper Flagg, his game, what you think that we can expect from him in the NBA. And you don't hesitate to take a moment to make it about you and to talk about how, nobody's had it harder than me. It's all about me. It's all about LeBron James, and he has had the hardest path. And I don't see it that way. I see him as somebody that had, easy Eastern Conference to skate his way through. I don't think that LeBron James was lacking in any luxuries. He came into the league with a $100 million deal from Nike before he even accomplished anything. And good for him. That's great. That set a precedence, for other players to get, bigger and better deals as well. So, kudos to LeBron James. But he's had quite a bit of luxuries. He got to play with Shaq early on in his career. Stop acting like you never had any veteran presence ever in your life. You did. I mean, even the guys, no, they weren't. I don't think that his team was a bunch of scrubs. He had all-stars on his team. He had people that were able to step up for him when he was playing like poop in fourth quarters. I mean, like Boobie Gibson, we want to sit there and call him a scrub, but he stepped up for LeBron James. But all these people don't get the credit that they deserve. And, Dwayne Wade will never get the credit that he deserves from LeBron James or Clutch Sports. Rich Paul will sit there and call Chris Bosh a role player. Who knows what they're going to come out and eventually say about Dwayne Wade and how they're going to try to tarnish his legacy. But, LeBron James, he gets on Mind the Game to spread a losing mindset. He wants to infect the youth and, I think up and coming basketball players, and brainwash them with, a loser's mentality, a victim sort of blaming game. I think that he's setting the stage for just an embarrassing retirement year. If this is going to be his last year, I just wish that LeBron James would, for once, sit one conversation out and just shut his mouth for once. He always has so much to say about things that you feel like, okay, well, you'll answer to this, but you won't answer to Ped's allegations. You won't answer to, the Diddy allegations. You won't answer to so many things, right? But he has time to sit there and say that, you know, he had it harder than Cooper Flagg, and that, he has the luxury of playing with veterans unlike himself. So, and he has, he won't have the pressure that he had of narratives and the pressure to be the guy and to make every play and to win everything for your team. But he doesn't know what Cooper Flagg's experience is going to be. And I think I think it's really irresponsible. I think that he's already like, how are you already hating on Cooper Flagg? And he just got here. Like, he literally just got drafted. You're already hating. Like, give it a break, LeBron. You got swept. Why don't you just close your mouth, go home, relax, be on vacation? I can tell he was on the beach. He looks tan. But like, stop running your mouth about everybody else for 2 seconds. But, he can never be without the spotlight. Everything is about him. He must have all of the attention on him. He's absolutely insufferable. LeBron James is a narcissist. And I wish that I could say that this would stop when he retires, but it's not. But I mean, what do you guys think? Why is LeBron James trying to discredit Cooper Flagg before he even enters the league? What do you guys think about this? I'm curious to know what your thoughts are. I see a super chat from Sports Facts. Thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. If Bron switched with Flagg, the Mavs a sink in circus hell, but Cooper playing with Luka, the Lakers have a new life. LeGrand Papa needs to go. I'm with you on that, Sports Facts. I agree that if they switch places, the Lakers have instant youth, energy, athleticism, just somebody who also comes out of playing in a more professional and more technical fundamental league. So, you're going to get someone that can probably play better team basketball in Cooper Flagg than what you have in a LeBron James, who isn't going to defend, can't hold on to the ball, has no handle, jump shot is iffy, can't rely on him. You just don't know what you're going to get. And he's a million years old. So it's just like, LeBron, just hang it up, retire already. We have another super chat from Wufio. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I got LeBron just above T-Mac and Gilbert Arenas all time. I don't know where that ranking is. Those are two players that have no rings. So basically you're saying that you have LeBron James in the room of guys that never really won any real titles. So I love the shade. Great job, Wufio. It's just laughable to me. You would think that LeBron James would be more worried and concerned about, what the Lakers are going to be doing next season, right? That's what you'd think that LeBron James would be concerned about. That's what he should be talking about, mind the game. Like, hey, we have all these pieces. We just got knocked out. Like, what do we need to do in this offseason? How am I training and working on my, 90-year-old body to stay in shape and attack this next season? But no, he wants to be gossiping about Cooper Flagg, denigrating the previous errors, just really embarrassing himself. He'd rather embarrass himself instead of just being professional, minding the game, and talking about what we can really actually look forward to next season. That's what I would have appreciated to hear from LeBron James, and what he thought that the plan should be for the Lakers in the upcoming season, really. Or maybe what is he planning on doing? Is he going to retire? Is he going to finally, relieve us? But, it seems as though the media, they're always going to be looking to the Lakers to contend, and they're more worried about it and concerned than LeBron James is. And sure enough, it's been reported that Austin Reeves has declined an $89 million deal with the Lakers. I believe it was a 4-year deal for $89 million. And so he's declined this deal, and the media, the sports world, just sort of started picking it up, and it got some traction and some legs today. They spoke on it on Speak, and Paul Pierce, the truth. You know how much I adore Paul Pierce, and he keeps it real. I mean, as much as he can, especially, while he's in the media trying to continue to elevate the sport, grow the game, right? So he needs to be a positive voice, but he also keeps it real, and he tells it like it is for the most part. And like I said, as much as he can. And so he starts to discuss this trade. They talk about it on Speak. And, there's a few people on the panel. They think that Austin Reeves being traded would be good. And there's folks that think that if he, remains with the Lakers, that would be best for them. So, should the Lakers pay Austin Reeves, more money? Obviously, he declined this deal because he thinks that he's worth more money. And perhaps he is. I don't know that he is because he can't defend, but it still begs the question, should the Lakers trade Austin Reeves or should they pay him? Should he stay or should he go? But Paul Pierce talks about it, and we'll listen to it together, and then we'll go ahead and react.
Yeah, I love him with Luka though. It's just
You do.
I do love him with Luka, but not with Luka and LeBron. You know what I'm saying? He fits the mold of the type of players that Luka, like he catch and shoot, he can make plays. Think about it if he was out there, if LeBron wasn't there, and then LeBron, his position was a 3-and-D guy or another athlete. It's just that LeBron is going to take up so much of the offense and not give you the defense, and so is Luka taking up so much of the offense, not give you the defense. Then I don't need Reeves because he's doing the same thing as they're doing.
Yeah.
It's kind of repetitive having those three. So I think you should trade them. You need to find a way to get younger, more athletic, shooting. They have a number of problems, though. I think people think that this is a quick fix and getting a big.
They're not one piece away.
No, they're not one piece away.
Y'all haters, man.
Do you think they're one piece? Why do you think they're one piece away? We've talked about three. They need to be more athletic and defensive on the wings. And with all due respect to the new pieces, I'm not buying that rookies and undrafted free agents are going to get the job
defense
done.
is about 1-2, man. It's about 1-2. Either I want to.
You heard it. I mean, Austin Reeves, he can't defend. LeBron James can't defend. How do they keep Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic, and how do they do this? How do they keep all three of those guys? Do you guys have any answers? What do you guys think the answer is here? Because it doesn't make sense. Luka, LeBron, Reeves, you have three guys on your floor that play in guard-like roles, and they can't defend the perimeter. So in a quote-unquote make or miss league, you have three guys on your floor that can't guard the perimeter. How's that going to work? It doesn't work. That's the thing. That's why they were a first-round knockout, because you can't have three guys in your starting lineup that can't guard a parked car. It's not winning basketball. It doesn't win. That's why they got knocked out in 5. It was T-Wolves in 5, right? LeBron can't defend. He turns to flopping, turning the ball over relentlessly in open court. That series was embarrassing to watch. And, you would think that LeBron James would actually have some dignity, retire. But he won't. He has no shame. He has no shame in robbing the Lakers for more money to have, to continue the spectacle of the father-son duo that were plus minus 70 in this past season. So very historically awful. And I think that they should trade Austin Reeves for sure, but that's not going to help. They're going to trade him, and who they're going to get? It's the same thing. Just keep him there. And maybe hope that LeBron James leaves this year. If LeBron James can leave this year, then maybe they're waiting one more season for him to get out of there. But if they want to try to be competitive now, you have to trade Austin Reeves for a defender. They need to get a guy like maybe two guys like PJ Washington and a Lively, like what they had in the Mavericks. The Mavericks team, what they had there for Luka Doncic, it allowed him to make that titles run. It allowed him to be in the finals with Kyrie Irving. Those are the guys that he needs. He needs what LeBron has needed his whole career, 3-and-D guys, but you can't have Luka and LeBron James, and they need the ball in their hands. Austin Reeves needs the ball in his hands. He plays better with the ball in his hands. Austin Reeves, that's why he needs to be traded, because he's not going to be able to cook with Luka and LeBron on the floor. And it doesn't matter that LeBron says he's going to take a team-friendly deal next season. It doesn't matter that he says he's going to take a step back. It's never going to matter. As long as he's still playing in the league, he's going to need to get his points on the floor. And he's going to grab that ball. He's going to run and gun. He's going to bum rush that lane. And he's going to find a way to score at least 10 points a game. And the bottom line is that he's not going to be able to do that without causing a lot of turnovers, maybe costing them a couple games here and there. Austin Reeves does not fit with LeBron and Luka, but he fits with one or the other. So Luka leaves this season. Like, is he going to extend? Is he going to sign an extension with the Lakers? I mean, it seems that he clearly is going to, because he can make a fool out of them just the same way that LeBron James has. But it's shameful to me that the Lakers don't see that this isn't competitive. They have JJ Redick, they have a drunk and a coke fiend as their coach. They have a complete incompetent person that can't make adjustments in the playoffs, no less. That this main guy that was saying that he couldn't make, Doc Rivers can't make adjustments. It's all about the adjustments, right? This is their head coach. This is their guy. DUI JJ. This is their guy. So that's the head of the snake, right? They have JJ Redick as their head coach. They have Bronny James, Carlton Banks, as their guard. That's their backup guard. Can you believe that, guys? That's their backup guard. Historical father-son duo. Gotta love it, right? Look at those two. Historical father-son duo. So yeah, they have JJ Redick. They have the historical father-son duo. You have Luka, who knows how he's going to show up this season. Is he going to be in shape? Is he gonna lose some weight? Is he gonna improve on his defense? Do we expect that from him? I don't know. I don't see this being winning basketball for the Lakers. I see them being a first round exit again, if they even make it to the playoffs, because who knows what their schedule is going to be. So if they can actually win meaningful games, if teams actually come ready to play this season and everybody's not injured and they're not beating a bunch of depleted teams, who knows if they even make the playoffs this season. But I love to see them there. I love to see them make it and exit in the first round. So, I mean, what do you guys think? Should the Lakers pay Austin Reeves or trade him? It looks like we got another super chat, so I'm going to go ahead and read that. Salute to Wufio for the $5 super chat. Shame these players settle for being a sidekick instead of being the best they can be. It is a shame. It's absolutely a shame, because, who is going to be the sidekick? Is it Luka to LeBron in this upcoming season? Is it LeBron to Luka? Is Austin Reeves going to be able to ascend as, being part of that trio? Does he need to get traded? Who knows? Salute to Sports Facts for the $4.99 super chat. trade LeBron and his mini him for this year's 55th pick and a future number 1, it frees up the cap space to sign 2 good players that love to be in LA. That's probably very well true. I can see that happening. But I think you think that the Lakers will have to choose between Connect and Reeves? I mean, it's 2 different contracts though. Connect's still on a rookie contract. So, maybe they do have to decide between the 2 of them, but I don't know that this year is when they're going to decide. I think that Austin Reeves is going to be mutually exclusive from like Connect. I don't think that those 2 things. I think they might get traded as a package though. So I can see them giving up Reeves and Connect. But who would want LeBron and Bronny? Exactly. I can't call it. But yeah, guys, I want to make time for just one phone call. Let me throw up the phone number. And certainly give me a call in, guys. Call in. Talk to me nice. What do you guys think? What do you think about this episode of Mind the Game? Oh, it looks like we already have a caller. This will be our first and last caller, guys. Thank you for calling Sports Tea. Talk to me nice.
Man, hey, Dom, it's VC, not
Hey,
Vince
VC.
Carter.
Hey, VC. Sorry I butchered your name in the chat, but now that I know it's VC, I got you.
Nah, you good. Just calling about this. Well, first I'm gonna call about the Lakers and both topics. First thing with Mind the Game, not too much to say. I mean, LeBron James is doing what he always does. This was definitely like he had some good points. Cooper Flagg is he's going to be around a lot of future Hall of Fame veterans. This is a great opportunity for him to learn. Hopefully somewhere down the line, these guys are all in their 30s. So hopefully by the year 2028, this is Cooper Flagg's team and he has the keys. But bringing up how your situation in Cleveland is just funny to me because, I mean, yeah, you left to go to Miami, Bron, but you still came back. You went back to the bad situation. So make that make sense. As far as the Lakers and Austin Reeves, in my opinion, I would think that you would pay him because he showed that he can be the third option. But if you're the Lakers and you can trade him for a better basketball player, I'd do it because I mean these guys just paid LeBron James max money. So all these people saying that LeBron wants to win a 5th ring, I don't think so because at his age you should not be taking max dollars, man. You're a billionaire. You got all the money. If you really want to win, you take that pay cut so the Lakers can go get you this help that you're always begging for on your podcast or in post-game interviews. But that's what I had to say, though.
You're hilarious. I'm tired of this podcast. I just want him to hang it up. I want him to be more. I just want LeBron to have a little bit more respect for himself.
Yeah.
I wish he wasn't so desperate for everybody to anoint him as the GOAT and to I wish he wasn't so desperate to just create some sort of manufactured legacy. Why can't he just organically let people remember him and talk about him for the great things that he did?
I think it's because LeBron deep down, he knows like I said, like when it comes to the younger generations, because some guys, guys you didn't watch Kobe's whole career, you didn't watch Jordan, so you're gonna automatically lean to LeBron because you're loyal to your generation, and LeBron understands that. So like he knows he has like Gen Z, all of the like Gen Z and afterwards. That's okay. These guys already know I'm the GOAT, but see, when it comes to the older guys, to his peers, I think that's what really makes him tick. So, deep down, when people aren't saying when they're not saying what him, the king, wants to hear, he sends his gestures out, the Rich Pauls, the Gilbert Arenases, all these guys who are taking this clutch sports money, they're going to go out there and they're going to put out whatever little narrative, whatever history we need to revise because, hey, if we tell this lie long enough, it will eventually become a truth.
Absolutely insane. Well, thank you so much for your call, VC. I really, really appreciate you. Great take.
Oh yeah, you're welcome, Dom.
Thank you. I hope you have a wonderful night. And again, salute to you, VC. Well, thank you guys so much for a wonderful live. Do me a favor, like the video, share the video. That's really important. Share the video on your social media. Let your friends and family know. Let's grow the Sports Tea Network. Let's blow it up to be big, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And certainly leave me some comments. Let me know what you think. Should the Lakers pay AR-15 or trade him? And why? Why? At this point in LeBron James's career, and why before Cooper Flagg even joins the league, why is he already hating? Why is he sounding like the old heads that he says are always hating? Isn't that funny? But would love to know what you guys think. So certainly drop me a line in the comments, and don't forget, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and share the video. Thanks so much, guys, and have a wonderful, wonderful Friday. Bye-bye.